Based on the same platform as the Honda Civic, the Del Sol was a cheerful, affordable little car which sold in decent numbers and encapsulated the optimism of the mid-90s. The small convertible segment was alive and well during this time, but by the 2010s it seemed to have died off almost entirely, with convertible tops now only available on high-end luxury and sports cars. The current Civic is only offered as a hatch and a sedan, and the coupe body style was phased out with the 10th generation. So let's imagine that, jumping on the trend of classic brand name revivals, Honda decided to bring back their sun-loving roadster. As with the previous iteration, this will be based on the contemporary Civic, sharing the same wheelbase and a similar body as I could use. Power comes from the same 1.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder used in the 10th gen Civic, which produces between 170 and 200 or so horsepower. I'll go for a top-of-the-line 210 horsepower, but I couldn't quite match the engine's low peak torque curve. I'm still pretty bad at tuning turbocharged engines. I'll give this one a 6-speed manual, but it would be available with a CVT as well, with a slightly detuned engine. From here, I base the mechanicals on the existing Civic. This is meant to belong to the Sport Touring trim, basically the highest-end non-sporting model that Honda offers. The roof would be a manual targa top like its predecessor, and let's imagine that it fits somewhere underneath the giant liftback. Moving on to styling, I tried to replicate the corporate Honda styling, going for a mildly aggressive front end. Like the previous model, this isn't meant to be a full-on aggressive sports car, but more of a little tourer. It definitely has some resemblance to the NSX, which I'll say is intentional. I didn't really focus on the interior of the last car I made, mostly because there aren't too many fixtures that replicate the rounder Kia interiors of the 2000s. But I decided to try a little harder on this one, sticking to the design language of the current Civic. Unlike the previous Del Sol, I can take advantage of the longer wheelbase and give this one a 2+2 layout. However, the back passengers won't really be able to enjoy any sun. I finished up the design by recreating the Samba green paint available on the original model. Moving into BeamNG, the Del Sol's engine sounds decently similar to its real-world equivalent. Performance is respectable, with a 0 to 60 in the low 7-second range and a solid mid-range power curve. Handling is nice too. It has this chuckability to it and is prone to mild lift-off oversteer. It seems like a pretty good drive overall. So if Honda were to produce this thing, I'd imagine it'd be a decent seller, shifting somewhere around the original's numbers of about 5,000 to 10,000 annually. I could also see these serving as great rentals. Honda reliability and a convertible top makes for a perfect fleet car. With the new Prelude coming out though, Honda's shown that they're willing to give compact coupes another try, so maybe something like this will actually make it to production.